Cool. Melanie, on to you, I guess.
Hi everybody, and good morning, and welcome to the Networking Group Online. The Networking Group is committed to connecting, improving and growing New Zealand businesses in a structured networking environment. And we're delighted to have you here today on the online group. Obviously, our preference is to meet face to face, where we can build relationships and trust, and therefore very good business relationships so that we can help each other. However, we are online. This is a fortnightly meeting. We record the meetings and they're available on our YouTube library. So thank you for being here. It's great to have a good turnout to hear our speaker today. We're absolutely delighted to have Dan Webster from Ingot speaking. Dan is an absolutely fantastic networker. He's been with us in the Waikato for a number of years now and is a well-known face in each of the three groups, being Cambridge, Hamilton East and the Te Rapa group. So thanks for coming along today, Dan. Dan's topic is on websites, and we're all going to learn a lot today. I imagine it will be extremely educational. Ingot is an imaginative digital design studio. They're an exploratory digital design company based in Hamilton in the Waikato, and they grow businesses through their digital presences. So over to you, Dan. Thank you very much for being here.
Awesome. What an introduction. Thank you. Couldn't have done it better myself. So I thought instead of doing a slideshow presentation or anything like that, what I would do is just build a web page and share that and do my experience through a web page. So what I'll do is I will share my screen and get that underway. So thumbs up if you can see my screen. Great. Alrighty. So ready to get schooled. Let's do this. So my topic today was there's a lot to unpack. So if I do go over it too fast, I will send you through a link to the webpage as well later on. So you're not jumping ahead. But what we'll do, the essence of today is to unpack a few nuggets of knowledge that can help you improve your own website and how your customers perceive it, and then how you can also better understand your target market. So here's some nuggets about understanding your target market, putting yourself in their shoes, and then using this to improve your website design choice and drive customers to actually take action. So we all have a website, right? Well, we all know what a website is. So the main point of a website is obviously to better communicate what you do, pitch your product to your customers, to your ideal target market, and then drive them through to that call to action, whether it's to book, to subscribe, to buy, to purchase, add to cart, whatever it is that you're trying to get them to achieve. So Ingot ourselves, we through our exploratory process, kind of want to know right from the start who that business is actually targeting, because design is just the visualization of words. So if we can understand the brand, how they work, how they think, who their customers are, then we can more effectively be designing for a business. And it's the same for your website. You can go through and review it. But the first thing that you want to be able to do is understand your target market and how to document this to build a customer profile that you actually want to target. So let's start by asking, this might be a little bit small, so I'll make it a little bit bigger. Let's start by asking ourselves some questions about your target market. So who are they and what do they care about? So what you're trying to do is you're trying to create a clear indication of who your ideal target market is. But to start with, you want to create a bio for them. So people love stories. And what you want to do is you want to create a little bit of a story for your target market to help you frame that, because it's a lot easier to picture yourself in their shoes if you've actually got someone to picture. So generally what you want to be doing is you want to be starting with an ideal client or someone that you want to be working with. So a big business or an individual. And then you want to create a bio for them. So you want to take some notes down and answer the following questions. So, you know, give them a name, give them a gender, an age, occupation, location, what's their education level, what's their income, do they have any assets, have they got a beach house, do they have a boat? What this does is it helps create that backstory for that customer profile, and it helps them become relatable. Then what you want to do is you want to know their story. So you want to understand what's their personality, what's their hobbies, what are their activities, what do they fear, what are their challenges, what are some hopes and values that they have, and why would they use you? So what this does is it helps you kind of understand the personality type that's going to drive them towards seeking out your solution, whatever that is. So for instance, if you are, you know, if you're selling homeware, it's, you know, a helpful customer avatar is someone who is a mum who's busy, has kids, but wants to be able to have a bit of disposable income and values amazing things around the house. Then that's helpful to understand, so you can structure your messaging and your website to pitch towards that person. So once you've created a bio for them and you know their story, then you need to think about what do they actually need. So the reason why people buy things is because they've got a problem, or they think it's going to help them either improve their life or make their life easier. Or it's because their next door neighbor has one and they want one too. So what you need to be thinking about is, what do they actually need? Why do they need you? What's that pain point that they have got in their life that's going to drive them towards going online, searching for a business like yours, discovering your webpage and choosing you over anyone else? So thinking about why do they need you and what would their personality type want. So if your personality type is, you know, dominant, they would be expecting something that's in your face, buy now. You know, they don't necessarily want all the details. They want to know the key points and then they want to buy. Whereas someone who, if you're targeting like lawyers, for example, they would want to know a lot more information. They'd want to have a bit more of a range, and they'd want to kind of have case studies and that sort of thing. So that's where understanding what they would need is going to help you down the line. And this is how you design your website. And that's going to be some of the sections down below. And then lastly, what are you actually going to do about it? So no doubt you have competition in your market. You might be one of the few lucky ones that is in a niche of a niche, and that's good. That's a good place to be. But how are you going to exceed their expectations and solve their needs better than your competition? So what's going to set you apart? What's going to make your process easier? What's going to make your product better? You want to understand, how is this person going to choose you? And how are you going to exceed their expectations? So by knowing their story, their personality, what they need, then you can help start creating an idea of how you're actually going to specifically solve that need. So an action point for you guys is to create a sheet answering all these questions. So all of these questions, there's a lot of questions in this session today. So what I'll do at the end is I'll send you the link and you can obviously copy them all down. But an action point is create a sheet answering all these questions, and then do it a couple times, because that's how you're going to start building some custom avatars for your business. They're going to be really helpful for you to understand who you're actually trying to target through your website. And that's the first step, is understanding who to target. So you need to understand things like, you know, the audience's age group, what they do on a daily basis, their likes, dislikes. It's all going to help you build a better identity of who's coming to your website or who you're trying to attract. That's the first thing. So the second thing is putting yourself in your customer's shoes to make discerning and calculated design choices. So now that you kind of know a little bit more about who you're trying to target, I've got more quizzy questions to ask you. I said this was all about questions, and I'm absolutely right. So what are they, your target customer, actually going to be expecting to do on your landing page or on your web page or whatever you're trying to push and promote out on the web? So you've got to think about, is your customer going to be expecting key services or a storefront? So for example, if you are a informational service-based business that does consulting for accounting businesses, they're going to want to see those key services, those key value adds that they can add to their business. If you're going to be selling products online, the customer is going to come to your website and they're going to expect to see a storefront. They're going to expect to see products for sale. They're going to expect to see a range. So you need to think about that instant as they land on your website. What are they going to be expecting? Are they expecting pretty pictures or case studies? Are you a photographer? Blow them away with images. Are you a coach or a consultant? Case studies, testimonials, that's what people want to see. So put yourself in their shoes or in their head and think about when they land on your web page, are they wanting to see engaging words or a call to action that's going to immediately drive them through to whatever you are wanting them to do? So depending on the style, product, or service that you're selling, you're going to be packaging your website up very differently, and it's really important to obviously capture them within those first few seconds that they land on your page. So creating a high impact content requires you to think about what your audience is wanting to do, and then thinking about what your end goal is that you actually want them to achieve. So putting on your website, you've obviously got your hero section, which is a section right up the top. That's your most important, that's your gold mine. That's where all your critical information needs to sit. And that's your biggest chance of capturing the attention, and then you drive people down the page. And here's a top tip for you guys. People don't want to be clicking around your website too much, but they don't mind scrolling. So definitely below the fold, which is just below your hero section, which is at the top, you've got your additional information, and you want that to flow, and you want that to be a intuitive follow on. So it needs to make sense, and it needs to entice people to scroll down the page. So an action point, pretend to be your ideal customer. Go and visit their website, go visit your website. And if you were them, what would you do first? So would you want to click on a big bold button? Would you want to click on a service and explore that further? So think about your own service. Think about what you're trying to push and promote, and think about, are you making that easy for someone to actually follow through with? So open up your own web page and have a look at, are you being descriptive? Are you being clear? And you can jot these things down, and then we're going to move on to the next section. So using better design to actually attract clients and drive them towards a call to action. So now that we've kind of uncovered a little bit about what the person is that you're trying to attract, or who the person is that you're trying to attract, and trying to understand a little bit more about what you would actually like them to do on your website. Now, the tricky thing is, how do you actually get them to do it? So the biggest thing that we can start with is obviously your call to actions. So these are your buttons that tell you to click here to buy or to book. So thinking about what call to actions do you have on your site? Are they generic? Are they descriptive? Are they actually going to be driving someone to make a decision, or are they just cluttering up your page and causing confusion? So a couple things to think about is you want these to be descriptive and clear to understand. You don't want to confuse people about what they should do on your website. So if you've got mixed messaging, people aren't going to know what they need to do. So for instance, if you've got a website that both sells equipment and rents it, those are two opposite things, and you want to make it very clear that they are two opposite things, because you don't want someone going down the rental route and then trying to buy the product and getting confused and then just thinking, flag this, I'm going to go somewhere else. So in that case, you'd have two sections on the website, big and bold. You'd have rent our products, buy our products. And both of those buttons are going to say buy a product or rent a product. You don't want them both to say see our range, for example. So you want to communicate what it is that you want people to do for that next step. You want to also put them in easy to see places. So as humans, we read, well, in Western culture anyway, we read left to right and up to down. So it's the same thing on your website. You want to have your most prominent information, generally top right of a screen is quite good, because you want them to read what your website is about first. So when you look at a homepage, for example, let's scroll all the way up to the top. You've got ready to get schooled, that's big and bold. Then you've got your secondary information here. What's this page actually about? Then you next look at what are your call to actions, and then you scroll down the page and look at, oh, okay, cool, understanding your target market. Let's go delving deeper. And you can see how on this page, you've got your content, you've got some call to actions, and then you've got some content just off screen that's going to entice someone to start scrolling down. Let's go back to call to actions. So yeah, back to top right of the screen or directly below important content is a good spot. So wherever your key bits of information are, you've all got your, your most valuable bits of information that you're pointing out to hook people and get them back into your business. That's where you want to put your call to actions. You want to use them when you want a customer to take that next step. So after reading a service, reading about a service, or after completing a step, you want to have a call to action there that's going to entice them to do the next thing you want to do in your funnel. So if you've got a case study, great, you've got them on the page. What do you actually want to do? What do you want your client to do after they've actually viewed that case study? You want them to get in touch with you. You want them to get on the phone. So have a button there that's take you to a contact page or a direct dial to just get in contact. You want to make them bold and you want them to stand out from the rest of your content. So that's where it's a good idea to have feature color on your site and keeping it consistent. So using the same color so people know, oh yeah, cool, that's something I can click on. That's something that's going to grab my attention. Ways you can make it stand out is obviously make it bigger, make it bolder, make it brighter. There's a bunch of different ways that you can make your design or your call to action stand out. Design for your target audience. So previously, the first step, we had a look at who is your target audience and how to actually uncover who that would be. So now thinking about what would they expect to see on your website. So are you designing for them or are you designing for you? The problem that we get with a lot of the clients we work with is they have this idea of it's my brand, it's my business, it's all about me, but it's not. If they're a coach, if they are an indie person and they are all about exuding themselves, then yes, there is an element of it, but they also want to be attracting their target market of the people that they want to work with. And that's what your design for your website needs to be about. It needs to be targeted to the people you want to work with, who are not necessarily going to share the same love of frilly pink things as you do, or the love of stark. I mean, personally, I love Pack and Save's branding. It's just completely, it's very minimal, very, it's like a couple color tones. I love that sort of style. I'd happily build all my websites in the same style, but our clients, funnily enough, don't also or share the same affinity to stickman and yellow that I do. So we've obviously got a design for them. So thinking about who your customer target is and what they would like to see is very important. So, you know, a female middle-aged woman after high-end handbags, expecting a very different experience to a, you know, rugged male who wants to travel the world and is looking for some sturdy backpacks to go and pack his world in and then shoot off overseas for 6 months and stress his mum out to no end. So let's have a look at some visual examples that are kind of going to explain our methodology behind it all. So our first case study is fill a bowl. So the customer that we were pitching through to is a hungry 15 to 35-year-old cool kid. They're a little bit rebellious and they want to find a healthy alternative to fast food. They want something fresh, funky, fun, and tasty. They expect to see food. They want to see vibrant colors. What do you want them to do? You want them to order and you want them to view the menu. So let's have a look at there's a big COVID banner because that's what all our websites look like nowadays. So as you can see, the website, you know, you've got things flying all over the place. You've got little bits of bowls, you've got images of the food, it's directly in your face. Everything is vibrant, it's very colorful. There's little bits of things kind of just flying over the screen. But, you know, as someone who's wanting to look for something tasty and fresh and funky and different, this is going to entice them to actually do that. Obviously, you've got a range of different bowls. This is making me hungry just looking at it. And then there's animations on the screen, things come flying in. You know, if you want to order a bowl, great, you can kind of see your bowl. So for this, let's go back to, for that case study, obviously, this is who we're trying to target is it's vibrancy. It's, if we go back to that website, you know, it's order now. There's only one thing and it takes you through to the ordering, or if they want to see the menu, let's go. So your food comes sliding in as you scroll, and it's all about engaging people as you go down the page. All right, enough of fillable, let's move on. We've got case study number 2, which is Autism New Zealand. So what's the purpose of the platform? It's a support network and it's an educational platform for people with autism and their caregivers. So they expect to see resources and clear instruction. They want to see site design that is clean and not overwhelming. You think about the autism spectrum, it's very wide. You've got people on one end who get clearly easily overwhelmed. They need things to be simple and not bright, flashy colors. And then you've got people on the other end who they need to know everything about everything before they'll make the tiniest decision, and they want to delve deeper and deeper and deeper. And we've got the lovely job of designing for both of these people at the same time. So the site design needs to be clean and not overwhelming. Buttons need to be descriptive, and site layout needs to be super consistent. So they need to know what do they need to do. So let's have a look at Autism New Zealand. So very clear site. What do they do? Well, they support autism, right? Taking every step together. It's a community. You've got your clear call to actions, and everything is color coded. So you've got navigating autism, which is yellow, what is autism, which is the blue, and then the education side, which is the purple. And that theme follows throughout all of the content on the website. Your headers and your descriptions are very simple, navigating the world of autism, and your buttons are also very descriptive. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to get in contact, get in touch. What is autism? Let's learn about the definitions. What causes autism? This is a comment like throughout the site, additional information, but it's the same little plus icon, and it follows that same design structure all the way throughout the website. So it's about making things easy to see, intuitive, and helping them actually navigate a site. Go back to case study number 3. So we've got 2 mortgage companies. They do the same thing. They both sell mortgages to people. They both offer a great service. They both want more customers. They're both involved in the financial industries and are constantly changing things because financial industry is going through a bunch of regulations and they're constantly changing about what you can say and can't say. And it's a big pain for us, but it's all right. We deal with it and we just charge per hour. So fine, we make some money out of it too. So one of these clients wants to be funky and, you know, pull the middle finger at the bank. They want to appeal to a younger audience and provide relatable, helpful advice. The other company, they want to appeal to discerning first home buyers and provide professional advice, showcasing the range of advisors that they've got and the range of services. So let's have a look at these two websites and you let me know which one is which. So we've got Priority Home Loans. So they are a mortgage home loan company. So services you can trust. Our mission, the branding is green. It's for building trust. You've got kind of that organic. You scroll down the page. Oh, why would people choose us for their advice? Save time to reduce stress. And you've got their advisors. So you can quickly see, oh, there's proof of concept behind what they're actually selling. They've got people on their team. There's, you know, a wealth of advice. And then you have iRefix, which I'm just going to quickly reload the page and go to the top. Right, we'll reload that again because clearly, so I'm sure you can imagine which site is the one that's trying to pull the middle finger at the bank. So mortgages aren't just about rates, mortgages are about options. And as you scroll on the page, there's things that are popping up. There's things that fly into the screen. What do you want to do? Review, refix, refinance. Let's go. So, and then there's a quiz. So take a moment to discover, you know, your best mortgage options. So two businesses selling the same product, targeting very different people. And their website ends up looking very different, as you can clearly see. So, excuse me, while my controls block my view, hide floating meeting controls, there we go, back onto it. So you can quickly see, you know, which site matches with which target profile. So you can use a website as a tool to effectively communicate directly to the person that you're trying to target. And that starts with knowing who you're actually trying to target. So jotting that down and also, you know, having a look at your competitors, seeing what they're doing is helpful to kind of get a gauge of how you can improve your own website. So action steps, going through your website and, you know, go through your website and look for those next step moments where you want your customer to do something. Add in a CTA, which is a call to action to drive them through to the next step. And then also look at what images, icons, colors, and styles are present on your website. And are they actually going to be appealing to your target market? So is the vibe that you're sending them going to build trust or going to drive them away to one of your competitors? And if it's going to drive them away, well, then you need to swap them out. There's obviously a ton of content out there. There's resources like Canva for building concepts together, or Unsplash or Pexels, which are stock photography. Most of it is free that you can start, or there's things like Free Pick, which is a icon library. There's a bunch of free stuff that you don't have to design. You don't have to be a designer. You have to think about what your target market wants to see and then stick that on your website. So that is a very condensed version of a rundown of what I wanted to achieve today, and we're done. So if you still want to, what I'll do is I will make that back to normal, and then I will post this in the chat and you can have a squiz. Where's the chat gone? There you go. So you can click on the link. Whenever I do these sessions and I post the link, people just click on the link and then they zoom and they jump straight ahead, and then I lose them. But I've gone through, I've had my time to talk, and you've all patiently listened, so thank you very much. What I want to do now is just open the floor for some questions. Let me know your thoughts, and we can go from there. And I will also stop sharing my screen. You're all welcome to ask questions one at a time.
That was really great, Dan. Thank you. I loved how you took us through the whole process. It was really easy to follow, and yeah, thank you.
Not a problem. Thanks, Katie.
Dan, a question from me. Well, you probably get a range or inquiries from a wide range of businesses. Let's just say you're talking about a $1 to $3 million service business.
Mm-hmm.
Two questions. Roughly how long would it take from go to woe to set this up? And can you give us, the second question, sort of indication of the approximate cost, I suppose, if you're talking about a non-commercial type site that you were looking at there? And I appreciate there'll be a wide range, you'll have digital photography and all sorts of other costs into it, but can you give us a rough idea of A, the timeline, and B, some sort of budgeted cost for potential inquirers?
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of a timeline, that's very dependent on how big the website is. So a typical marketing website that is, your 4 to 5 pages, it's got services, content, that sort of thing. Something like that can take anywhere between 2 weeks to kind of plan and prep, and then an additional up to 2 weeks to actually build out and design. There's a couple different phases to a website design. So you've obviously got the discovery phase, which is where you're pulling content from the client, and that can take anywhere from a couple of days to a year. It's all dependent on them, how fast you can extract your information from your client. Once you've actually got that content, you can go into a bit of a planning phase, which is generally about a week or two. And then coincide with that, there might be a bit of overlap. You've got your design and development phase as well. So typical website is, anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks, depending on how simple it is. And then obviously your complexity just scales from there. So we have projects that are 6 months, 12-month projects, because there's a bunch of different parts. So it really is quite dependent, and obviously depending on the scale of your project. So, for us, our projects generally start around 5K to 10K, and that's where we start, and then we have it scales from there. Obviously, there's different businesses need different websites. So if you think about $1 million company, they need something that's actually going to be effectively bringing them it's an effective marketing tool. If their website can get them one sale, that's going to be worth $100,000, that sort of thing, then their website is going to be more valuable than a mom and pop shop that's trying to sell lollies to kids over the summer. So it's also based on how the business actually wants to use that website. So we have websites that are membership space subscription sites that integrate with a bunch of third-party software. Because you think about a website, and sorry, I've probably gone a little bit further than explaining your question, but it is quite a broad question. Your website, yes, it is a marketing tool and it is a communication tool, but it also needs to be useful to your business, because if it's not useful, well, then it's just a pretty piece of artwork that just hangs on the online space. So the most important thing about when we're thinking about how to actually price a business, how to price a website, and how to build it out, is what's it actually going to do for the business? How's it actually going to help them do what they need to do better? And that's where pricing is super subjective. We've got a client that does joinery, and they need a website purely for the process of tendering to large businesses for projects. So they tender out to McDonald's and they tender out to large building companies and that sort of thing, and they do the joinery in those buildings. And their website is solely specifically, like, they don't need work. They don't have people knocking the door. It's all through referrals or that tender process. So that's what their website is specifically for. And if that website can help them secure a couple $1 million contract, well, then you don't want to be spending 15, 2 grand, 5 grand. You want to be spending the amount to actually get the good design, to get the good process, to get the thought methodology onto that website that's actually going to help them secure, because they get one tender and they made their money back easily. So it's a very subjective thing. It's probably down to what are they trying to achieve, what's their website, what is their goal with the website, and kind of what is the value of what that website's actually going to get the business. And then that's kind of how we help understand what the value is actually going to be for the product.
And I've got a question for you. I just noticed in the chat, a couple of people have said that they'll go away and review their websites to see if they're doing right call to actions and things like that. So I know we've talked about you building new websites. Do you offer a service to actually review an existing website if a TNG member wanted you to have a look at it and give them some feedback?
Yeah, absolutely. So honestly, it starts with a conversation to actually, and for a lot of the clients that we work with, it starts with actually reviewing their current site, because most businesses that we work with have an existing website. And it's definitely, as a part of TNG, definitely, like, we can review a site, spend 15 minutes on the phone and actually just go through it together, give you some quick tips, some ideas on what you can do. Obviously, depending on what your website is built on, how you've got it all set up is going to vary on how easy it is for you to actually edit. That's something that we are quite passionate about when we are building a website, is that the owner needs to be able to edit it themselves if they choose to. It's your online space. You want to be able to own it. So that's something that you can be thinking about as well. You might have your own website or be using another provider, and be thinking about how easy is it for you to actually be doing stuff on your own website. But absolutely, my number is not on the screen. It is, my email address is under my name there, so you can flick through an email if you want to have a chat about your website. Absolutely. And it might cost you a coffee or two for a start. You can just Venmo me if you're in a different country. Not different country, gosh, different city. It feels like Auckland's a country apart at the moment, but all the best for you guys in lockdown. Guts.
Thanks, Dan. Great presentation. I had an example. I'm doing some online shopping for a birthday. I don't know what other people have got, but September's a really busy month of family birthdays for the Partridge family. So doing a online shop, trying to find some vouchers to send to somebody. Go to one site, which is, I know that there's an outlet right by them, and it would be really convenient for them to use them. Went round and round in circles because I can't even buy a voucher from them in lockdown level 4. Go to their competitor's website, and their competitors made it really easy for me to buy the vouchers. And I wouldn't have gone to that competitor if the first site had been up to date and it had been more user-friendly. So your message is absolutely on the mark. Think about what the customer's looking for and what the customer's trying to do, and build the website around the customer, not around the business. Fantastic, Dan. Thank you so much.
No, that's quite all right. So we probably got time for a question or two more, and then we'll need to dip into getting around the room.
Hi, Dan.
Hey,
my name is Laura. If I can ask a quick question, I'm only been in the business for 3 months. I'm a life coach based in Auckland, in Silverdale. I have some testimony on my website, obviously to build credential. I'm not selling item or things that you can touch. It's in intangible services, and it's important to have a client rapport or relationship or trust or comfort when you want to hire a life coach. So how many testimony or customer review is too much on a website?
So it's always good to have social proof on your website. You need to think about the fact that when people are scrolling, they're not going to be waiting around on the page, waiting for reviews to scroll through. So generally, if you're going to have a slider, you probably want to have 3 on the page to 3 to 5 testimonials at a time. Obviously, it depends on the length of your testimonials. You also need to think about the testimonials that you are putting on your website, because if it's like, man, Unblock Life Coaching was great, like it's not really a good testimonial because it doesn't actually say anything about your business, about why it is great. Anyone could say that. So you want to be conscious about the testimonials you put on, that they're actually adding value about why you are great, what makes you different to the business coaches or the life coaches elsewhere. So you want to be mindful about what you're putting on, and probably put a maximum of about 3 to 5. And then put a link there, put your call to action to say, read more testimonials. And then if people want to read more testimonials, then they can. And then when they land on that page, they're going to be expecting to see dozens, or however many you've got. So the other thing as well is you can put testimonials throughout your website. So use them as a page break between your sections. So have a testimonial, have some content, have another testimonial. So put them throughout your website, but don't blow them away. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Hi, Dan. Candy. Just want to know what platform are you using for your designing website? The one that you showed earlier. It looks really neat and tidy. I have my website, it's a bit old, but I was looking of updating my website. So did you use WordPress? Yeah,
so we develop on WordPress quite a lot. We have used Shopify, or we develop on Shopify as well, which is more of an e-commerce platform. We also work with RocketSpark, which is quite a good DIY platform for businesses, helping them actually manage their own website. It's the whole tagline for the business is beautifully simple, and that's what it is. It's a beautifully simple website builder. We mostly work on WordPress as it gives us a lot of customizability, and we can really give a client as much control over their own website as they need to, and it's very extensible, so we can pretty much build whatever we want to on it. Yeah. So
what do you think about the Wix?
Wix?
Yeah.
Well, I would say that we've just taken a client off Wix, and every 3 months their SSL certificate, which is their security certificate, would not be renewed because Wix wouldn't renew it. So Wix is probably a good starting point for someone who doesn't have a lot of money, wants to be able to do it themselves.
Yeah.
They have great marketing, but there are flaws, and it is a contained market. So if you're going to be using Wix, you're going to be only restricted to the things that you can do within Wix. So yeah, it's probably better suited for a starting point, and then you would need to think about moving on to a more powerful platform over time.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Great. I would love to take more questions, and you can email me those questions if you want to, but what we need to get on to now is just doing a quick wrap around the room and meet all you lovely TNG people. So what we'll do is I will start, and we'll just go around the room, and what you need to do is just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your business, and then maybe something you got from the presentation, and then we can go off into our busy Fridays. So what we'll do, I've had enough of talking, so let's start with Katrina. Let's start with you.
Hey guys, I'm Katrina. I run Accent Photography, a newborn and family photographer in sort of Tuakau, Pukekohe, so South Auckland, covering South Auckland, North Waikato. Thanks, Dan. That was awesome to hear. It's really made me think about those call to actions in particular. So I'll be going back to revisit myself. I'm a DIYer. I do it all myself. So she's shaking your head, but oh god, another one. I like to have control over it. So yeah, but it's really made me go back and think about that customer journey through it. So it's been great to meet you all. It's my first online one today.
Cool. Thanks, Katrina. Nigel.
Thanks, Dan. And as everyone else has said in here, enjoyed the presentation. Some good fundamentals, nice flow to it, good structure. Very, very informative. Thank you. My name's Nigel, Phoenix Consultancy Services. My focus on back-end systems and processes. All of the things that you tend to forget after you've got your website up. What does your LinkedIn profile look like? What does your Google My Business listing look like? Have you claimed your Bing listing? Have you tagged all of the items within your CRM so that you're sending out separate messages directly to the individual parties? Don't send the same newsletter to everyone, whether they are a customer, a prospect, a staff member, or a supplier. So tag and separate, and always have a call to action in everything you're doing. And with that, if any of those items ring a bell with you, or if you don't know what I was talking about, then you really need to talk to me. My number's shown under my name. It's Nigel, Phoenix Consultancy. Thank you.
Thanks, Nigel. Katie.
As I said, Dan, before, that was a great presentation, really helpful, and I wrote a lot of notes about how I could improve my website. So yeah, really appreciate that. So my name's Katie. I'm a freelance copywriter, editor, and public speaker. I write meaty and meaningful content for social enterprises, not-for-profits, and other organizations that are doing good. I particularly like writing websites, blogs, case studies, ebooks, and any of that longer form writing. I've recently added a booking function on my website. So if you wanted to book a free 15-minute chat to see if we're a good fit, just please visit katierixon.co.nz. And thanks for having me this morning.
Cool. Thanks, Katie. Ron.
Thanks, Dan. Ron Shelwick. I'm calling in from Palmerston North, and I'm a business coach advisor here. We're just in the process of, I'm joining up with another gentleman about to relaunch under a new brand. So we're going through all that issue around websites and all that bits and pieces. Thanks very much. It's quite informative. I actually took quite a lot of notes, or found that your discussion about how to flesh out an avatar to be very useful, because it is something I talk to my clients about in terms of their marketing and their target, identifying their target market. And I do have some difficulty. I've had some difficulty at times in terms of trying to understand the concept of an avatar. So this will help them flesh that out a lot more and get it down pat in terms of, well, much better idea in terms of what. So thanks very much for that.
All right, Ken.
Yeah, good morning. Ken Jackson from the Mortgage Lab. No, a great presentation. I liked the fact that you had case studies on mortgage brokers firms. That was quite a good comparison, having two to look at, and it's quite different styles. I mean, there's certainly a lot to take on there, so I need to review that myself. So that sounds a good action point that I've taken from your presentation. So thanks, Dan.
Cool.
Yeah, Ken Jackson, the Mortgage Lab.
Cool. Mortgages from Ken. Laura.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me today. Great presentation, Dan. I've taken a lot of notes. We'll go away and check my website and see where the missing connection and so forth. I own a company called Unlock You Limited, life coaching in Silverdale, Auckland. I've only been in the business for the past 3 months, so very new. My type of life coaching is very holistic. It could be anything from, want to change your career, getting a new perspective on your life in general, relationship, procrastinating, anxiety, you name it. So I'm still really new with the business, so just hoping to be networking with everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. Baptist.
Good morning, TNG. This is Baptist from Tax Advantage. Excellent presentation, Dan. Loved it. I've also to review my website. I will be in touch with you for that. What do I do? Of course, Tax Advantage itself means I look after people's taxes so that they pay minimum taxes. After making a lot of money with you guys, you're making a lot of money. You need to pay the taxes. So I will see that you pay the minimum tax and then organize your accounts, your finances in such a manner that you get the best advantage. What do? We also are into auditing, valuation of businesses. If your clients are trying to sell businesses, let me know, or buy a business so we can value the business and let you know the exact value they need to pay. Besides that, last week we had a lot of inquiries coming through, a lot of clients talking about wage subsidy, resurgent payment. How do I apply for it? What do I do? So we helped a lot of clients. And if you or your clients are stuck up there, let me know. We can help them out. That's Baptist from Tax Advantage.
Thanks, Baptist. Kaz.
Hi, everybody. Dan, awesome presentation. Fantastic content. I've got loads of notes. I've even got it up already on the screen. It's really timely for me because I'm reviewing my website and looking to do online courses and things like that. So it's given me lots of things to think about. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it and the time it went into getting it together. I'm a dog trainer based in Dairy Flat, and I support owners and their dogs from Hibiscus Coast, North Shore and Central Auckland, specialising in puppy development and sports. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun at the moment, trying to find new and interesting ways to engage my clientele who are struggling with their puppies at home and can't do any kind of classes at the moment. So yeah, it's good timing. Thanks, Dan.
Cool, no problem, Kaz. Jagopal.
Yeah, hi Dan, thanks everyone. It was a nice, good presentation by Dan. And I don't have my personal website, but I deal with Buffett & Thompson. So everybody's aware of what Buffett & Thompson does, of course, buying and selling the properties. So if anybody's keen in getting in this lockdown, I can still do the virtual of the home viewing for buying and selling. So if anybody's keen to buy and sell, let me know. My name is Jay Oberoi from Buffett & Thompson. Thanks.
Thanks. Diane.
Hi, everyone. Really nice to see everyone. Dan, great presentation. There were definitely a good number of pointers there for me to go and look at what we're doing and just check that we've got all our T's crossed and R's dotted. So I'm Diane from AppWorks, and we do technological solutions for small to medium-sized enterprises. And at the moment, we have a solution in place for motels, and of course, the motel industry is not in a good space at the moment, but hopefully they will be coming out of that, in the near future, and then we can progress that part of it. And then the second part of that is we have a personal casting travel companion for people who own batches to take a casting unit away to their batch in their camper van so they can cast content from their phones that they've subscribed to onto TVs and enjoy the latest and greatest movie or series that they are watching. Thanks very much, Diane from AppWorks.
Thanks, Diane. Malcolm.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Dan. Thanks for a great presentation. I work as a business coach. Hello, Ron, with Business Success Partners. We're a national advisory company working with SMEs. As I say to our regular meetings, we help business owners get clarity on why they're in business and what the vehicle is actually designed to do for them, separating via the 3 hats exercise why they're in business, We help them put a plan together to get to where they want to go to. And then we spend some time kicking butt to help them make the changes in their business. The last couple of weeks, we've been focusing hugely on getting clients through this latest COVID chapter, focusing on important things like cash flow, connecting with their staff, and ensuring that their client relationships are maintained during this very sensitive time. So we've been pretty busy during this period of time. Malcolm from Business Success Partners.
Thanks, Malcolm. Candy.
Hi, I'm Candy from Candy Sue Fitness. I'm a personal trainer and a transformation coach. I did transform people from health and fitness and wellness and mental as well. We also run corporate for workshops in a big groups or private. So at the moment, I'm at my fitness studio here in Warkworth, and we have a personal training studio plus group classes. But beside that, we also take this fitness outside to corporate. At the moment, currently, I'm working on 28 days Be Healthy project. We call that summer body. So it's only 28 days we can transform someone from unhealthy to healthy and really losing a lot of weight in 28 days. So it's very effective. And I like to transform and help people when they become healthy and fit, and I feel very fulfilled. So this is Candy from Candy Sue Fitness.
Awesome. Thanks, Candy. Mark. Mark's not there. We'll go with Garth. I can see Garth.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Mark and Melanie and I, passionate, it's a funny word, but we are passionate. We are true believers that building a great business network is one of the most important things to help people in their business. It's not just about growing their business. It's about the support that you can get from it. And Dan, this is a really good example of the benefits of having a good business network. Thank you so much for the initiative that you went to put together the Connect TNG NZ online. It's a great value add to our members, a good educational and a great session today, Dan. I would ask our TNG members to take it back to their groups and to talk to their groups about the benefits of coming and joining us every second Friday at 10:30 for the educational session that Dan set up. Thanks, Dan. Really good initiative. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Oh, great. Well, you guys all know that what I do, build websites, and yeah, definitely passionate on the education front. And we've got some awesome guest speakers lined up. So every fortnight, 10:30, same place, TNG online. Yeah, we are scouring the country to find some good value adds to your business, and definitely do share them with your group, and do invite your group as well. It's online. There's no 2-meter social distancing requirements. We can pack in as many as we need to, and they are all recorded. So if you do want to get the session later, it'll be on the TNG YouTube channel as well. Melanie, are there any parting words from yourself?
I just want to say thank you to everybody for being here today. It was a great session, I think you all agree. And special thanks to our first-timers on here. Really nice to meet you, and I look forward to meeting you in person when we're able to. So, thank you.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I'll just post that link to the presentation today in the chat. So if you do need it, it is there. Otherwise, have a fantastic weekend. It is the weekend. Yeah, it's Friday. I'll probably be joining Garth for that drink at the end of the day. So sounds good, guys. Have a fantastic end of the day. And thank you, everyone. And thank you for the kind words, and look forward to next fortnight.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks. Bye.